guys, it's Amanda over at AmandaReads, and today I'm coming to you with a book haul. Now, I said that I would not buy any books during the month of May, and I didn't. Like I said in my wrap-up video, I was really good. I said I wouldn't buy any books, and I didn't. However, the first few days of June rolled around and I was ready with my BookOutlet cart. I had a bunch of books in it and I placed one order with BookOutlet, but that's it. It wasn't that bad. And now for the rest of the month of June, I am not buying any more books. So I'm doing so much better. I have this new mentality, which is called reality, because I don't get paid during the summer, guys. So yeah, I don't have any money laying around extra to spend right now. So my BookOutlet order came in finally. It's 14 pounds. It's heavy as crap, but it has a lot of books in it. I think this box smells like coffee. So the first book I have is a book that I already read, but I really want to reread it and I really enjoyed it, and that is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. And if you haven't heard of this book, I don't know what you've been doing with your life, but you need to go research it, so I'm not going to tell you about it. Fun fact about me, I am obsessed with crime shows like Law & Order SVU, CSI Las Vegas. I am a huge fan. So when I saw these books on BookOutlet, I couldn't help myself, because the only CSI that I like is CSI Las Vegas, and they had this bind up of 3 novels. Double Dealer, Sin City, and Cold Burn, and it is based off the CSI Las Vegas show. I also purchased CSI Binding Ties, which is also based off of the CSI Las Vegas show. Next, I bought a book that is very intimidating, and I've seen it on a lot of people's intimidating TBR tag videos. And I'm really nervous, but it's supposed to be really good. I saw so many mixed reviews on Goodreads, but I really want to read it over the summer. This is going to be my goal. And that is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. And I am going to read you the synopsis because I feel like I haven't seen a booktuber read the synopsis, and I had no idea what it was about before I purchased it. When 4 classmates from a small Massachusetts college moved to New York to make their way, they're broke, adrift, and buoyed only by their friendship and ambition. There is kind, handsome Willem, an aspiring actor, JB, a quick-witted, sometimes cruel Brooklyn-born painter seeking entry to the art world, Malcolm, a frustrated architect at a prominent firm, and withdrawn, brilliant, enigmatic Jude, who serves as their center of gravity. Over the decades, their relationships deepen and darken, tinged by addiction, success, and pride. Yet their greatest challenge, each comes to realize, is Jude himself. By midlife, a terrifyingly talented litigator, yet an increasingly broken man, his mind and body scarred by an unspeakable childhood and haunted by what he fears is a degree of trauma that he'll not only be unable to overcome, but that will define his life forever. In rich and resplendent prose, Hanya Yanagihara has fashioned a tragic and transcendent hymn to brotherly love, a masterful depiction of heartbreak, and a dark examination of the tyranny of memory and the limits of human endurance. It's supposed to emotionally traumatize you. I'm nervous, but I'm excited. Next, I have a standalone novel, and I looked at this on Goodreads before I purchased it, and it looked like it had some really good reviews, and that is My Sister Lives on the Mantelpiece, a novel by Annabelle Pitcher. To 10-year-old Jamie, his family has fallen apart because of the loss of someone he barely remembers. His sister Rose, who died in a terrorist bombing years ago. His father can't move past her death, and Rose's twin sister Jazz, now 15 years old, can't escape her ever-present shadow. When Jamie and Jazz's father moves them to the countryside for a fresh new start, the past continues to haunt them when Rose's ashes are placed back on the mantelpiece. But with an odd new friend and a keen understanding of the world around him, Jamie can try to make sense of the tragedy that has torn his family apart and endeavor to bring them back together. So it just sounded really interesting. It's short, it had pretty great reviews on Goodreads, and I thought it was kind of different than what I usually read, so I'm really interested in picking that up. Now, we know how much I love Laura Weiss, so when I saw a Laura Weiss book that I haven't bought yet, I picked it up, and that is How It Ends. And I absolutely love all the Laura Weiss books I've read before, so I'm really excited, but I haven't read the synopsis, so this is my first time. All Hannah's wanted since sophomore year is Seth. She's gone out with other guys, even gained a rep for being a flirt, all the while hoping cool guitar-playing Seth will choose her. Then she gets him, but their relationship is hurtful, stormy, and critical. Not at all what Hannah thinks a perfect love should be. Bewildered by Seth's treatment of her and in need of understanding, Hannah decides to fulfill her school's community service requirement by spending time with Helen, her terminally ill neighbor who she's turned to for comfort and wisdom throughout her life. But illness has changed Helen into someone Hannah hardly knows, and her home is not the refuge it once was. Feeling more alone than ever, Hannah gets drawn into an audiobook the older woman is listening to. A fierce, unsettling love story of passion, sacrifice, and devotion. Hannah's fascinated by the idea that such all-encompassing love can truly exist, and without her even realizing it, the story begins to change her. Until the day when the story becomes all too real, and Hannah's world is spun off its axis by its shattering, irrevocable conclusion. Try saying irrevocable conclusion 5 times fast. Go! Did you do it? It seems impossible to me because I could barely say it once. And I think this sounds really good. It seems kind of tame compared to some other Laura Weiss books I've read, but I'm excited because I really do love everything that she's written. Now I have another Laura Weiss book, which I have already read. I own it in ebook form, and that is Me Since You. I highly recommend this book. I really liked it, and I will read you the synopsis. Before and after. That's how Rowan Areno sees her life now. Before, she was a normal 16-year-old, a little too sheltered by her police officer father and her mother. After, everything she once believed has been destroyed in the wake of a shattering tragedy, and every day is there to be survived. If she had known on that Friday in March when she cut school that a random stranger's shocking crime would have traumatic consequences, she never would have left campus. If the crime video never went viral, maybe she could have saved her mother, grandmother, and herself from the endless replay of heartache and grief. Finding a soulmate in Eli, a witness to the crime who is haunted by losses of his own, Rowan begins to see there is no simple, straightforward path to healing wounded hearts. Can she learn to trust, hope, and believe in happiness again? I want to reread this. It was so good. It was so freaking good. It was so good. I have 4 books by another author named C.K. Kelly Martin. I have only read one of C.K. Kelly Martin's books, but it is called I Know It's Over. I will insert a picture here. And I have read this book multiple times, and each time I read it, I fall in love with a different aspect of it. So I've been really wanting to read more of C.K. Kelly Martin, and BookOutlet just happened to have 4 new books by her. So the first book I have is My Beating Teenage Heart. They had a couple different covers, but I really liked this one, so I went with it. Ashlyn Baptiste is falling. One moment she's nothing, no memories, no self, and then suddenly she's plummeting through a sea of stars. Is she in a coma? She doesn't remember dying, and she has no recollection of the life she left behind. All she knows is that she's trapped in a consciousness. All she knows is that she's trapped in a consciousness without a body, and she's spending every moment watching a stranger. Brecken Cody is on the edge. He's being ripped apart by grief so intense it literally hurts to breathe. On the surface, Brecken is trying to hold it together for his family and his girlfriend, but underneath, he's barely hanging on. Even though she didn't know him in life, Ashlyn sees Brecken's pain, and she's determined to find a way to help him. As her own distressing memories emerge from the darkness, she struggles to communicate with the boy who can't see her, but whose life is suddenly intertwined with hers. Another C.K. Kelly Martin book is The Lighter Side of Life and Death. 16-year-old Mason Rice is having the night of his life. He's just delivered an incredible performance in the school play, basked in celebratory afterglow vibes at the party of the year, and lost his virginity to one of his best friends, the gorgeous but previously unobtainable Kat Medina. His dreams are coming true, and the future looks golden. Unfortunately, Kat sees things very differently. Crossing the friendship line was a big mistake, and all she wants is to forget it and move on, even if that means forgetting Mason altogether. What's a guy to do? Well, if you're Mason, you hang your hopes on the first attractive 23-year-old you cross paths with. At first, Mason wonders if he's imagining the chemistry, until Colette invites him over to her apartment. Suddenly, Mason's living in a whole new world. Acclaimed YA author C.K. Kelly Martin offers a sexy, soulful story of one confused boy, 2 girls, and all the complications that ensue in this feel-good celebration of friendship, first love, first lust, and second chances. All of her books are like really little, and so isn't I Know It's Over, but they pack a punch. Next I have One Lonely Degree by C.K. Kelly Martin. 15-year-old Finn has always felt out of place, but suddenly her world is unraveling. It all started with The Party and Adam Porter, and the night in September that changed everything. The only person who knows about that night is Audrey, Finn's best friend, her witness to everything, and the one person under 30 Finn trusts implicitly. So when Finn's childhood friend Jersey moves back into town, reckless, beautiful boy Jersey, all lips and eyes and hair so soft you'd want to dip your fingers into it if you weren't careful, Finn gives her blessing for Audrey to date him. After all, how could she possibly say no to Audrey? With Audrey gone for the summer though, Finn finds herself spending more and more time with Jersey, and for the first time since September, for the first time in her life maybe, something feels right. Absolutely stunningly right. But Finn can't be the girl who does this to her best friend. Can she? All these books just sound so freaking light and like summery, and I want to read them. Okay, and then this one's a little bit different by C.K. Kelly Martin, and that is Yesterday. 2063. 16-year-old Freya lives in a world where climate change has forced the citizens of the United North America to abandon the coasts. Eco-terrorism, the rise of a robot working class, and the unrelenting order of a police state are the normal in Freya's life, until her world starts to crumble. 1985. Freya has just moved across the globe and into a new life where she feels oddly distant. Her mother blames it on grief, but that doesn't explain her headaches and foggy memories. Then she sees Garen, and for the first time since the move, something feels real. Suddenly, Freya begins to dream of a place so strange it couldn't possibly exist. So why is it so vivid? And why is Garen there too? As Freya pushes for answers, she and Garen are thrust into a dangerous world where mysterious forces will do anything to keep them from uncovering the truth about Freya's visions and the time and place they really came from. So it's like a sci-fi thriller, and I'm really excited, and the front says, "What do you do when your only future is in the past?" I got chills. And this cover with the girl's face, and it just sounds so freaking good. Now, I'm a big fan of Sarah Dessen, and I've read most of her books. I own most of her books, or I've borrowed them from the library, whatever, and I don't really buy them if I've already read them because she's not necessarily an author that I want to reread, but I did purchase Along for the Ride by her. It's kind of a chunker. It just says, "Up all night. Nights have always been Auden's time, her chance to escape everything that's going on around her. Then she meets Eli, a fellow insomniac, and he becomes her nocturnal tour guide. Now with an endless supply of summer nights between them, almost anything can happen." Just sounds like your stereotypical, adorable Sarah Dessen contemporary romance, great summer read, and I'm very excited to read it. Now, most people know Amber Shares for her Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants series. However, she has also written some other books, such as My Name is Memory, which I liked, The Last Summer of You and Me, which I loved, and then I found this book, which is called The Here and Now. And I don't know if it's being made into a movie because this is different than the original cover. And it says, "Follow the rules, remember what happened, never fall in love. The world Prena James comes from is in ruins. She and the others who escaped are here to prevent humanity's destruction. But if they don't follow the rules, everything that matters will be gone. Friends, family, dreams, love. Ethan Jarves can never know Prena's secret. She's not from another place. She's from another time. The Here and Now is an epic star-crossed romance about a girl who might be able to save the world if she lets go of the one thing she's found to hold on to." I really like Amber Shares' standalone novels. I think she does a much better job. I love the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants growing up, but these are just way more mature, and I love the stories that she tells, so I'm excited to get into this. The final books I have to show you are the Monument 14 trilogy. So there's Monument 14, these are by Emmy Laybourne. There's Sky on Fire and Savage Drift. I believe that was the right order, but it might not be. And I'll read the synopsis of the first one. "Your mother hollers that you're going to miss the bus. She can see it coming down the street. You don't stop and hug her and tell her you love her. You don't thank her for being a good, kind, patient mother. Of course not. You launch yourself down the stairs and make a run for the corner. Only, if it's the last time you'll ever see your mother, you sort of start to wish you'd stopped and did those things. Maybe even missed the bus. But the bus was barreling down our street, so I ran." In Emmy Laybourne's action-packed debut novel, 6 high school kids, some popular, some not, 2 8th graders, 1 a tech genius, and 6 little kids trapped together in a chain superstore build a refuge for themselves inside. While outside, a series of escalating disasters, beginning with a monster hailstorm and ending with a chemical weapons spill, seems to be tearing the world as they know it apart. It sounds like that movie, The Mist or The Fog. There's 2 different ones. One of them is a Stephen King, and it is so freaking good. The other one has to do with ghost pirates. But the one where they're trapped in the supermarket, that movie made me bawl my eyes out at the end. But yeah, that reminded me of that, and it's a really cool looking covered trilogy. I love the concept. I love the way the spines look together. They're like that weird rough kind of feeling. and I was just really excited. So those are all the books I got from BookOutlet in the month of June, and I will not be having any more books for a book haul this month. I hope that some of these books sounded interesting and I was able to introduce you to new authors or new stories. And if you have done a recent book haul, please link it down below because I want to live vicariously through you since I'm not really buying any books. But thanks for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye guys!